and I'm really excited to be a part of this webinar. And before I go ahead and start off, I just wanted to do a quick sound check. Could any one of you in the audience or Raghavendra, if you could just confirm whether my voice is loud and clear, and then we can proceed further.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It sound clear.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. And again, I would like to welcome all of you to the session. The team did provide you with a very warm welcome, but I would like to, personally thank all of you for joining today's session. And it's pretty good to know that people out there who are into technical writing right now are interested in learning about Adobe Captivate, which is more of an e-learning tool, not just a video editing tool, but more of an e-learning tool. And it's really good to know that you guys are interested in learning more outside of what you're doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll start off my screen share. And I'll definitely, look forward to anyone from the audience just confirming whether the screen is visible or not.
Yes.
Yes, visible,
Perfect,
ma'am.
perfect, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's visible.
All right, so let us get started. I've created a really short presentation, so it will be more of a live product demo rather than, we just discussing on a couple of slides that we have. But to set the context, I have created a presentation here. So we will be, creating some sort of interactive digital content today using Captivate. So let us proceed further. So as the team did introduce me, I'm Manika, and I am a solutions consultant for Adobe's digital learning solutions. So I'm not going to spend a lot more time here in introducing myself. You can also go ahead and have a look at my LinkedIn profile if you want to. So let us proceed ahead here, and first let us discuss a hot topic, and this is something that all of you would be able to add, more pointers here, as I have worked as a technical writer in the past, but it's been over 2 years that I started working with Adobe, and now I'm mostly into the e-learning world and not into technical writing at all. But if we talk about what are the trends and what are the various, jobs or activities that are mostly performed by technical writers out there, be it in India or outside India or anywhere in the world for that matter. We see that you're mostly involved in creating some web helps, user guides, release notes, as well as manuals. So this list is not exhaustive, and there are definitely a lot more things that we as technical writers do on our day-to-day jobs. Another thing would be that we do maintain previously developed content. So if any other writer in your team created a piece of content in the past, let's say 1 year or 2 years back, you have to maintain that. You have to keep it up to date as well. Followed by UX writing. According to me, this is something which has come into picture in the past 2 to 3 years. People were involved in UX writing, but now we have coined it and given it a term that it is called as UX writing, because we do provide a lot of recommendations and suggestions to the UX team, even while they are creating their wireframes. Then there are proposal writers altogether, out there as well. So who respond to RFPs as well as RFIs. Then you have to create some style and branding, guidelines or standards for your organization so that all the technical writers follow the same style guide and you have consistent looking documentation. So this was mostly what, traditional technical writers are doing for the past, I don't know how many years. But if we talk about transitioning from just written content to some interactive and video content, we do have a lot of people out there who are creating short videos. So I did see your responses to the poll questions that a lot of people are making use of some or the other video editing tool to create some sort of videos. So it's not just about creating documentation, which is actually a really good news because I do believe that just writing everything down and creating some documentation would not suffice, and you cannot transfer all the knowledge or all the information that you have just with the help of words. There are other mediums as well which you can use, and we're definitely going to explore more about it today in this session. Followed by that, just a handful, not I would say around 2 to 3% of technical writers are also involved in creating some sort of e-learning courses. Traditionally, we have instructional designers who are responsible for this, but me in my previous organization, I was involved in creating some videos and courses as well. So I would say as a technical writer, you have got to do a lot. It is not just about writing, because a lot of people out there have this in their mind that if you are a technical writer, you just use Microsoft Word and just type in some words out there, which is not the case at all. And I truly believe that there is a lot we can learn and utilize while, transferring our knowledge to our learners or customers or even employees within our organization. Proceeding further, let us talk about some learner engagement and retention. So this is one of my favorite topics because I truly believe in that if you write a 15-page document for your customer, let's say, they're definitely going to get bored after a while and they won't read it fully. They'll obviously lose their attention span and they'll not be able to understand whatever you're trying to communicate to them. So in order to help you out in such situations, so just a word of caution, this is something that can happen and usually happens in my experience, because if someone hands me over a really long document, I would refrain from reading it at once, or, altogether, I might just skip a few bits and pieces in between. But this won't be the case every now and then. But if you are facing some issues and if you have got such feedback so far, then you can definitely make use of some video storytelling or by creating some e-learning modules as well. So as I talked about, keeping your audience engaged and retaining their attention span can be a real struggle. So here are a few tips which will definitely help you out. You can create some high quality video content. So as videos, they do appeal both visually as well as, in terms of visual as well as auditory senses, and you can create an engaging learner experience. So your learners will be, engaged in the video, and you can add a lot of stuff within the videos. It will not just be about the simple MP4 videos that we have seen so far. There are a lot of interactive elements that can be added within a video so that your learners learn more and they stay engaged throughout your learning session. Then you can also add some compelling visuals to your content. So it's always a good idea to make use of some pretty nice, visuals, be it in the form of JPEGs or SVGs, and add all those things in your content so that people find it, interesting. I am sure that this won't be possible every time, especially when you are creating some software documentation. In that case, it would be a good idea to add some snippets of your website or your application. The next thing here is recording a crisp voiceover. So in my previous organization, we were required to create some short 2 to 3 minute videos, which were ultimately posted on YouTube. We were discussing about, some of the bits and pieces of our own software. That is when I realized if we don't have a crisp voiceover, if we have a lot of background noise, or if we are not recording it properly, the end result of a video is not that good. And as soon as any person out there would start your video, and if they hear that, oh, the voice is not that clear, it is not crisp enough, they won't even, think of continuing to watch the video further. So it is always a good idea to invest in a good, voice recording software. But within Captivate, you can even record your own crisp voiceovers. We'll discuss about this as well today. The last two things would be to add interactive elements. So there are a lot many interactive elements that you can add, starting from as simple as a button to even activities such as drag and drops. Then the last one would be keep it short and simple. And this is what I've learned from a lot of technical writers out there when I started off with my technical writing journey. So this goes, same for even the videos or the e-learning content that you would be creating. So this was just, a brief sort of an introduction to how you can improve your audience engagement and their retention span. With that, let us proceed further, and I have crafted an agenda for our today's session. So let us quickly have a look at the agenda. So we are going to cover a couple of topics today, considering the time that we have in our hands. We'll not deep dive into each and every topic that is listed out here, but I'll make sure that we discuss the topics which will definitely help you out in future in depth. So we are going to cover a short introduction to Captivate so that those of you who are not aware of what actually Captivate is, you will get familiar with what it is, how you're supposed to install it on your system, and what are the various capabilities available within this tool. Then there, after the first point here, the other pointers are product specific. So I'm not going to talk a lot about these points right now, but just to give you a gist, we will be discussing about how you can add and edit audios within your, slides that you add, and we'll create some interactive videos. So not just normal videos, we will be creating some interactive videos by adding some activities and a lot of other stuff over our videos. And then towards the end, we'll also explore some screen recording capabilities of Captivate, as this would be of much interest to most of you. So we will be recording our screen, and we'll create a software simulation or a video demo. So this was it from the agenda perspective, and I've added my LinkedIn profile link here. So this is something that will be shared with you after the session ends, and you can definitely bookmark it and keep it with yourself even after the webinar ends today. So this was sort of setting the context. Now before we proceed further, I do have a couple of questions in my mind, and as I mentioned, I will be making this session a lot more interactive. So the first question for all of you here is that, are you recording some sort of voiceovers already in your current job? You can just simply type in a yes or a no or a y or n in the chat so that I know the type of people who have joined us today for this session. Okay, so I do see Raghavendra's response here. So he says yes. That's great. Then I do see a couple of no's, a lot of no's, I should say. All right. Another question would be, once you're done with answering to this question, I would be interested in knowing, have you ever, sort of created some sort of video content within your current job role? Is that something that your organization has explored or is exploring? Okay. All right. So there are a lot of mixed responses here. So Richa is using Captivate 2019, which is great. Revati says, not yet, but willing to explore, going to explore in previous organization using Camtasia. That's great. So this is some great information. And, this gives me a sense of the type of people that we have today. A lot of you are into some sort of video creation, but some people out there are not making use of any voiceovers or even videos. So let us get started, and I'll make sure that after this session ends, you'll get to know what Captivate is and what are the various other capabilities possible. And that will definitely, help you out in starting your journey of video creation. So let us deep dive into what are the various, possibilities within Captivate. So first things first, Captivate is a rapid e-learning authoring tool. It is primarily used for e-learning and not for technical documentation. But you guys being, technical documentation specialists or technical writers, the sky is the limit. You can go ahead, explore other things, and even start off with a new initiative within your current job role. So it's not like you're just bound to creating documentation, right? So you can create videos, you can even create some interactive e-learning content for your learners. And Captivate being a really robust tool, it will become a lot more easier for you to get started with it. And I'm definitely going to guide you, all of you today with this session. So you can essentially jumpstart your e-learning journey with Adobe Captivate. Proceeding further, what are the core capabilities of Captivate? There are a few people who are using Captivate currently, but for those who don't know what exactly Captivate is, there is a long list, I would say, and today we don't have as much time wherein we can deep dive into each and everything. So I'll make sure that we cover the big bucket items, and some of the big bucket items are listed out here. You can create soft skills as well as compliance trainings. So if you are into training creation, you can create different types of trainings, and it is not just limited to soft skills and compliance. Then we do provide you with an option of responsive design. So if you are interested in distributing your content for multiple screen devices, a lot of people prefer reading up a document or watching a video on their mobile phone or a tablet rather than on a laptop screen. So you can achieve that also using Captivate. Then we do have something called as advanced actions. We can skip this out for now. This is for advanced instructional designers who wish to, achieve multiple actions just with a single click. So we're not going to deep dive into this for today. Then we have software simulations, and I feel this is something of much interest to most of you. You can create end-to-end software trainings using software simulations. We do support template-based authoring. So if you're going to start off with Captivate, my personal recommendation would be to get started with one of the templates that we provide you with. So the templates are end-to-end courses ready for you to use. Just go ahead, start adding your own content, and that's about it. Then again, a hot topic, video-based learning. We do support this, and you can create different types of videos using Captivate. It can be either in the form of a screen capture, either in the form of a software simulation, or you can also create some interactive experiences for your learners. Proceeding further, we have an option of inserting assessments and tracking. So usually what happens is in any e-learning course, you add some content for your learners. You have a couple of slides, then you have, some voiceover playing in the background, you have some videos, and towards the end, you can also add a few quiz questions so that you can test whether your learners have, learned what you're trying to convey to them or not. Then we have some animations that you can add, and we do have virtual reality. So if you're interested in, learning more about any of these things, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn, and I'll help you with the related collaterals. Now, without further ado, let us go ahead and switch gears and talk about Captivate. So I'm going to open up Adobe Captivate. So the latest version available for Captivate is Captivate 2019. And if you're making use of any old, version, a lot of features that you're going to see today won't be available in an older version. If you happen to use, let's say, Captivate 2015, Captivate 8, 9, 5, and so on, we have a lot of, legacy versions available, but they are outdated. Adobe does not support those versions, and you are not going to get the updated features that we are going to learn today. So if that's the case with you, do reach out to us and we can help you with the current version. Or if you do not have access to Captivate at all, and if you're interested in accessing it, there is a 30-day trial also available. So I would personally suggest whatever you learn today, do give it a try. Try just download the trial version and try replicating what you see today. You'll also have access to the recording, so you can just get back to the recording, have a look at the steps that we are performing and replicate it at your end. This will give you more confidence, and you'll be able to analyze and think that what your next project should be like within your tech writing journey so far. So I've opened up Captivate, and the screen that you're seeing right here is the home screen of Captivate. Captivate is a desktop-based solution, so it is not cloud-based. You're supposed to download the installer, install it, and that is when it will start working for you. And as soon as it is ready, just launch it, and this is the very first screen you will come across. And from the home screen itself, you can see that there are different types of projects that you can create. So these are essentially the same projects that we just discussed about in our previous presentation. Just one more thing that I would like to add here is that if you have some PowerPoint presentations or, in a lot of organizations, we do create a lot of presentations and we want to convert all those presentations into some sort of e-learning or interactive content. So the process is seamless. You can even bring in your PowerPoint presentations within Captivate if you desire to. It's just a few clicks and that's about it. And then you can add your own voiceover, add some videos, or even add some interactive elements. With that, I'm going to open a traditional blank project for now. I've selected the option of blank project and you do get an option of selecting your canvas size. The canvas size would mostly be the slide area size or the slide size that you can select. I'll select 1024 by 627 and I would personally suggest you all to select this very size. This gives you, a great experience once it comes to, creating your content. So no pixelation would occur if you select this size. So I've just clicked on the create button and now we are inside Captivate. Towards the center, we have a slide. This is the area where you will be adding your own content. You can just go ahead and start adding your images, your videos, or text, whatever you have in your mind. And towards the left, you can see a layout. This looks very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint, so it will not be that tough a task for you to get started with Captivate. So you can see the various slides that you will be adding here in a layout format in the film strip view. Then a lot of buttons are available for you here if you want to add some text, some shapes, any object, or even media items. All of these things are provided to you here in this panel itself. Then towards the bottom, we have a timeline. So if you're familiar with Camtasia and you have used Camtasia in the past, it will be a cakewalk for you. This works very similar to Camtasia and you can adjust the timings of the various objects that you might add on your slides. So let's say we add a small, shape here. I've added a rectangle. But now I want this shape to be displayed only after 5 seconds. So I've moved it further. And now if I play the slide, we'll notice that we do not have the shape. But as soon as it reaches the 5-second mark, we are presented with the shape. So using the timeline, you can adjust the timings of the various objects, be it text, be it images, be it shapes or anything of that sort. You can control anything and everything using the timeline itself. Then we have a properties panel towards the right here. So if you're interested in playing around with, the font color, the color of this shape, let's say, you can just quickly change that using the properties panel itself. So this was just a basic of the interface. Now let us start talking about some interesting stuff. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of templates available for you. So you can just make use of any of the templates which are provided to you and get started with your e-learning journey. So now before we deep dive, just one more question for everyone in the audience today. I would be interested in knowing whether you have a certain portal where you are hosting your videos currently. So let's say you are creating videos currently in your organization. Where are you currently hosting those? On YouTube, on Vimeo, or you have your own learning management system? Okay, so I do see two responses here. And the responses are from Tanushree and Rohini that both are using YouTube. Got it. Perfect. So Amol is using client's LMS. Great. So we have a mixed sort of an audience. A lot of people are using YouTube, but some are using LMSs as well, which is a great news. Because if we create some interactive content, it will always be a good idea to, host our videos or any content onto a learning management system. Okay, that's great, Tripti. Thank you everyone for your responses here. This provides us with really good insights. Now we are ready to get started with new stuff here. So I've just opened up the asset store. So the asset store is placed right here on the top right corner. In the asset store, there are a lot of things that are available for you as content creators. The first thing is project and slide templates. We're going to come back to this. But before that, we have a long list of character images available. So if you are interested in adding any of these character images, you can just go ahead, select the pose that you like, and you can even select the type of shot that you would like to add. It can be a close up, half, or a full shot. Then there are a lot of icons available. All of these are scalar vector graphics. You can edit these as well and insert them onto your slides. Then there are some 360 assets. So if you're interested in virtual reality, you can explore these. Apart from this, we have some beautiful looking images. So all of these images are from Adobe Stock. So Adobe Stock is a paid subscription platform for images, just like Shutterstock if you would have heard about it. But with Captivate, you get access to all of these images without any cost. So these are handpicked for you. You can just select the images that you like and insert them in your own projects. Then we do have a couple of videos, audios, as well as buttons. So essentially, the idea here is that we don't want you to spend a lot of time outside of Captivate while searching for the relevant, assets. All of those things are mostly provided to you here inside the asset store itself. Coming back to the project templates, there are a couple of templates that are available for you to use right out of the box. You can select the ones that you like. So let's say I want to go ahead with the league themed project. I'll just select it and I'll click on the open as a new project button. We'll see that the entire project will be opened up as a new project it's in itself, and it is ready for you to edit and use. So we're not going to have a look at the entire project today. I'll give you a few tips so as to how you can go ahead and edit these slides that you have here. So we have around 30 to 35 slides which are available here. It's not necessary to use all of these. If you want to delete any of these out, you can just go ahead, simply hit the delete button on your keyboard, and that's about it. Talking about editing this slide, let's say I want to create an onboarding or a new hire training for my learners, or possibly a software training for my learners. I don't think that this image goes well with my topic, right? So all you have to do is open up your file explorer, navigate to the part where you have added your images. So I have my images in this folder. So I'll just drag this image from here. I want to add this one. So I'll drag this image and I'll drop it onto the screen. So this is how easily you can just add your own images, and you can also go ahead and start typing the text that you have in your mind. So you're not required to create anything from scratch. Mostly everything is available readily for to use. Just go ahead, add your own images and your text, and that's about it. We have added a lot of interactive activities as well. So I'm just going to showcase one of the activity here so that you get a sense of what all is included in these project templates. So this is how it's going to work. Let me just proceed further. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these slides, but all of these are editable and customizable. I'm going to click on topic 5. And here we have some slides again. Just add your own text, your own background images. And here we have a video. So you can insert or embed videos within the course slides that you might be creating. After the video, we have this drag and drop activity. So it's a very famous activity, a very easy one, but is loved by a lot of learners out there. So we have some draggable items here. Your learners would be required to drag these items from here and drop them onto the target areas. So this is how they will be engaged and they'll not go get bored while having a look at your video content or just by reading your text. So if we place this piece, this image at a wrong target, it will come back to its original position. So your learners would be required to place them on their right target, and that is how they will be able to proceed further. And after all these slides, there is a small quiz available. So if you're interested in creating anything of this sort for your learners so that you can assess as well, you can go ahead and add some quiz questions for your learners. So this was just a brief to get you familiar with how an end-to-end course can look like within Captivate, but it is not mandatory to make use of all the elements that we saw today. And with that, let us proceed further to more interesting things, and you'll be able to connect more with this particular topic. We are going to discuss about audios. So once you have your content here, you would definitely want to add or attach some audio to this slide. So let's say for the first slide here, I want to welcome all my learners. So there are multiple ways to add your audio. So most of you or some of you are familiar with voiceovers and you have recorded your voice in the past. And if you would like to do the same, we provide you with that option. Just click on the record button and now you can go ahead and click on this red little icon which says record audio. At the count of three, the recording starts. Whatever I'm speaking right now is being recorded. So I'll just hit the stop button and the recording has taken place. So the waveform that you see here is the waveform of the audio that I just recorded. But this is not all. There are a lot of editing capabilities that are provided to you because I know how much difficult it is to record your entire audio without making any mistake. It is a really tough task, and all of us are humans and we do make mistakes. So that's why we provide you with the editing capability here. What you can also do is you can adjust the volume. Maybe your microphone was or your mouthpiece was very placed closely towards your mouth and the volume is way too high or way too low. You can adjust that. Just click on adjust volume, make it higher or lower, whatever you want to, and click on the OK button. And by having a look at the waveform, you'll instantly see that yes, the volume has substantially decreased, and you can also click on the play icon and listen to the audio that you have just recorded. Additionally, let's say after recording you realize that there is a lot of background noise towards the starting of this audio piece. So you can just go ahead, select that part. Let's say this part is the disturbance that was recorded by mistake. You can select this part. You can either cut it all together, it will be removed, but you do get an option of inserting silence. If you select to do that, you'll see that some silence is inserted and whatever background noise was there, it will vanish off. And let's say here you made some mistake while speaking. So you can just go ahead, select this part and hit the cut icon here. And now if you go ahead and click again on the record icon, and at the count of three, the recording again starts. Whatever you'll speak, everything is being recorded. And that part gets added right after this red icon. So wherever you'll place the playhead and you click on the record button, the recording starts from that point. So this is also similar to Camtasia. If you've used it, this will be pretty simple for you. But if you're not interested in adding these audios onto the slides, you just want to save these outside of Captivate and possibly use them as a podcast. That option is also provided to you. Just click on the podcast button here and you'll be able to save your file at a desired location if you want. So this was about recording your own voice, but there are a lot more options provided to you, which you can, just go ahead and make use of. So let us explore something called as text to speech, because not every one of us have a really good voice, and oftentimes we would prefer not recording our own voice and making use of some computerized voices. So we have speech management right here. You can make use of this option. Here you see all the slides listed. So we have around 30 to 40 slides in this project. So don't get overwhelmed by just having a look at the number of slides that we have here. Let us play with the first slide itself. I'll click on the first slide and click on this icon which says add text to speech. Here you're required to add, your own text that you would like to convert into some audio. So essentially, you usually create a script before you start off with your voice recording. So if you have a script ready, you can just copy and paste that part here. But for now, I'll just type my own text. So I'll just add some sample text here. I've added my text, and now you get an option of selecting a voice agent. So you can select any voice agent of your choice. Captivate provides you with the voice package altogether, which you can simply install, and you'll get all of these voices. And Microsoft defaults will be automatically displayed here under this drop-down list. My favorite one is Julie. So I'm going to select Julie, and I'll just simply click on the generate audio button, and we'll see that the audio has been generated for us. So I'm going to go ahead and play this audio, and I look forward to a confirmation whether it was audible or not. So if anyone from the audience, Pratik, Raghavendra, if you could just confirm whether it was audible or not.
No,
Okay. All right, so let me just start my screen share again, and I'll play it for all of you. Just give me a short second. Yep, I've started my screen share again. Is it visible to you guys?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect, right. So I'll play this audio again.
Welcome to Adobe Captivate. This is the first slide.
I hope it was audible.
yes, we were
All
able to
right,
hear.
perfect, perfect. So this is how you can make use of, text to speech and easily just add your text and convert it into some audio. This becomes very helpful and saves a lot of time at your end because you'll not be required to re-record it, again and again and again. But sometimes you might face some issues such as if the pace was too fast or there were no pauses or anything of that sort. So we've got you covered. All of this is based on VTML tags. So this brings me to a question for the audience. I know that there is an open question for me, but I'll answer to these questions towards the end. But my question for now is, how many of you are familiar with XML tags, and how many of you are using XML on your day-to-day basis? Okay. So Ashish says me, Rohini, Raghavendra. Okay, great. So this is great, and I'm assuming a lot of you would be familiar with XML tags or data, but it's not mandatory at all to, make use of it every now and then while writing your technical documentation content. So the best part is if you are familiar with XML tags, it will be very easy for you to control the pauses or the pace of the text that we have here. So all of this is based on VTML tags, and VTML is voice text markup language. So it is again a type of a markup language, just like extensible markup language, that is XML, and we or similar to HTML as well, if you have seen it. So I am sharing my screen, but I do see a message here that unable to view the screen. Is it shared? I am sharing my screen. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
Manika, yes.
yes, Yes.
Okay, perfect.
For the person who is unable to view the screen, requesting you to please rejoin, and I think you should be able to see the screen. Thank you. Manika, over to you back.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so we were talking about VTML tags, and I'll just give you a really small example, not to overwhelm you, but this is a tip that I want to provide to all of you so that it becomes easy and seamless for you to make use of text to speech. So let's say we want to add some pause after welcome to Adobe Captivate. Okay. So all you have to do is you have to add this small piece of code. It's not even a code, it's just a single sentence sort of, and it says VTML underscore pause time equals 1000. So there is an entire VTML manual that is available for all of you, which you can, just access and, get back to it if you want to learn more about the VTML tags that we have here. So let me just regenerate the audio. And if I play this now, you'll notice that there will be a significant amount of pause after welcome to Adobe Captivate.
Welcome to Adobe Captivate. This is the first slide.
So this is how easily you can adjust the pauses, and there are a lot of VTML tags available out there through which you can control the speed also. So the second example here says VTML speed value equals 50. Then we have some text here, and then we are closing the tag. So just by using these small tags, you can adjust the pause times or the pace and a couple of other things. So if any one of you are interested in learning more about this, I do have the VTML manual available, and I can definitely share it with you if you are interested in learning more. So this was mostly about audios. The next bit is about videos. So let us quickly cover that. And I'm sure that this is something that you guys are going to enjoy. So I'm opening a full mate project first, and then I'll quickly showcase how easily you can do that using Captivate. But I already have a project ready. We call this as interactive videos. So I'm generating a preview, and we'll see that how this would look like to you or your learners.
Nowadays, many professionals are choosing to work from the comfort of their home. Though working
So this is just a simple MP4 video which was present on my desktop, and I've added that here inside Captivate. So first only the video will play, and then you're going to see a few surprise elements over this video.
just because you are working from home doesn't mean that you need to spend countless hours in front of your laptop. Chalk out your work schedule and stick to it. Make sure you communicate your availability to your coworkers so that they know when to reach out to you. While working from home,
Here we get a pop-up. This is a sort of a surprise element even for you and for your learners, because during the videos, a lot of people get, laid back that, oh, this is just a video. We can just let it play in the background and we'll be able to finish our course, right? So in order to help you here and in order to increase the learner engagement and retention, we came up with this. We've added a question here. Until and unless your learner answers this question, they won't be able to proceed further. If they answer it correctly, they can go ahead, watch the video. If they answer it incorrectly, you can ask them and to come back at certain point in time in the video as well. So if I select this option A and click on submit, the video will play further.
try not to convert your bedroom into your makeshift office and your bed table as your office table. If possible, have a dedicated workspace where you can sit every day.
A personal suggestion from my side, do pay attention to the audio that is being played here. These are some really good tips for most of us as you're working from home. And now we have a simple activity again, drag and drop. So we have different poses here, and we want our learners to place the tick mark or the cross mark, whether they think that this position is correct or not. The workplace setups are correct or not. I feel this is not correct. This will lead to a lot of back pain. So I'll place the cross mark here. This one is great. We have a study table here. I feel this one is also correct. But if I place the tick mark here, it will go back because we have told Captivate that this is something which is not correct. So I'm going to place the cross mark here and then the correct option right here.
It's quite comfortable and tempting to sit in your pajamas all day. But doing something as simple as getting dressed will help you be more focused at your work. It will help you separate your personal time from work hours. It can get really boring and frustrating to work alone all day and have nobody to talk to. To overcome this, have your communication channels open. Talk to your colleagues via phone or video chat, or exchange messages through your Office chat application. Take short breaks during your work hours. It will help you be more efficient, and of course, it will help you clear your head. Get up from your chair and walk a bit, do some stretches, get a glass of water, or treat yourself with a hot cup of tea or coffee. Click the arrows to review the best practices for working from home.
So now we have another activity here. You can just have a look at the best practices by clicking on these small arrows that we have here. You can go to and fro. So this is just how you can convert your normal video. So this was just an MP4 video that is added here. So if I just play the video, you'll notice that this is just another video and it plays as an MP4 video. So you can create something of this sort and it's pretty simple and easy. Let me just give you a quick, intro to how you can get started with it. Just a few simple steps are involved. I'm going to add a new slide here and I'll click on this little icon which says interactive video. Now you can bring in videos from 3 different sources. It is not mandatory to use just MP4 videos. You can also make use of YouTube or Vimeo videos. So let's say I want to add a YouTube video. So I'll quickly look up for some YouTube video and I'll just copy the URL. So this is the URL that I'm going to copy and I'll bring it back in Captivate. I'll place the URL here and I'll click on the OK button. So now our YouTube video is a part of our Captivate project here. Now we're going to convert it into some interactive video. So it is not mandatory to use a YouTube video again. The video can be from Vimeo or an MP4 video. So I'll just resize it. And if I play the video, it's just a YouTube video being played. Now let us do something interesting. Let's say I want to add a blank slide and here I want to add a lot of text for my learners. This is something really important. Right now I'm adding some sample text, but let us assume this is some important information which you would like to share with your learners. So I've just added it here. I'll possibly change the font color. Next up, I'll be adding a knowledge check question. So this is a question just to check the knowledge of your learner. And I've added a true or false question. Now we'll just come back to the video and we'll play with the timeline. Let's say at around 8 seconds, I'll click on this little icon which says insert overlay and I'll insert this piece of text. I will change the background opacity to 90%. And after a few seconds, let's say at 14 seconds, I want to surprise my learners and present a question to them. So I'll click on this icon and insert my true or false question. This last step that you need to perform is we have this true or false question here. There could be 2 scenarios. Either our learner will answer it correctly or incorrectly. If they answer it correctly, they can go ahead and watch the video further. Or if they answer it incorrectly, they have to come back, watch the video again, read the text again, and then answer the question. So click on this quiz tab towards the top right. Deselect infinite attempts. So these are the exact same steps that you need to follow. And just select, we have to select a bookmark here. But before that, you need to add a bookmark. So let's say if your learner answers the question incorrectly at 14 seconds, you want them to start again from the 2-second mark. So click on 2 second, click on this square icon which says insert bookmark and name it as bookmark 1. Click on your question, click on quiz tab again and just tell Captivate that on the last attempt, you have to jump to a bookmark, and that bookmark is bookmark 1. So this is the bookmark that we just added. So this is how you're just supposed to perform 4 steps, and you'll be able to replicate it. So I'll just quickly play this for all of you. I've muted the video for now. Here we have the important piece of text that we added for our learners. And now we have the question. You can set the background opacity. I did not do it for this slide. That's why we don't see the question that clearly. You can absolutely adjust that. If I answer it incorrectly, I know B is the incorrect option and I click on submit. The video starts again from the point where we have added our bookmark. The text appears again, and then we're going to see the question again just in a few seconds. If you answer it correctly this time and click on submit, the video will proceed to play further. So this was just an example through which you can create some interactive video content, because videos have been there for quite some time, but it is always a great idea to add some interactive elements within our videos. So we're not just left with one topic, and that is software simulations. So we're not going to spend a lot of time there, but we'll just see how easily you can create a simulation of your own. So let me just open up a new blank presentation. So just a word, just to set some context here, software simulations can be used once it comes to software-based training. So most of you would be creating documentation or step-by-step guides for various, actions to be performed within a software. You can achieve all of that easily using software simulations. So all you have to do is you have to go onto File, click on Record a New, and select Software Simulation. And within software simulation, you get multiple options, or I would say multiple modes that you can create. So let's say I want to record my presentation only. So I've selected that from the drop down. You can select a window of your choice, or you can also select the entire screen area to be recorded, or just a part of the screen area to be recorded. Then you get 3 different options. One for demo, second one is assessment, and the third one is training. So demo is more of a show me mode. It is just like an MP4 video. The steps are being performed and your learners are going to see it. Then the training mode is a test me mode, where we put our learners in a simulated environment and they physically perform all the steps using the software. It will not actually be the software, it will be a simulated environment. And the third one is assessment, very similar to training. Your learners will, or your employees will perform the exact same steps, but we will be providing marks to them for this. We will be creating a demo and training for today. If you want to add your audio, you can make use of the microphone, or you can select no narration as well. And you can also incorporate text to speech within the software simulations. So I'm going to click on the record button, and at the count of 3, whatever actions we'll perform here will be captured by Captivate. I just want to educate my learners on how to insert a new slide in Microsoft PowerPoint. So I'll click on the new slide button, and then I'm going to click on title slide. And I want to give it a new title. So let's say I just make it as title 1. So a very short example, I'm done with this. I click the or hit the end button on my keyboard. So this was a relatively simple example, but the best part is that Captivate supports both cloud as well as desktop-based softwares. So if you have anything on cloud, let's say your learning management system or Salesforce or anything of that sort, you can create a software simulation for anything using Captivate. So we are inside a demo right now, and you see that these captions have been auto-generated for you. I did not type anything. I just made a few clicks, and this is the end result. You get select new slide here. Then you also have select the title slide item, select this part, and then you have you're typing your title. The captions that are auto-generated are all editable. If you feel that this is way too long, you can just go ahead, delete out the extra text or add your own text if you want to. You can play around with the font color, the font and everything just by using the properties panel right here. You have all the options available towards the right. You can make the desired changes by selecting the option, by selecting the object and then the option. And if you feel that there is some slide that got recorded by mistake, you can go ahead and delete that slide as well. So we are not stopping you from deleting it because we can make mistakes while recording. You can just delete out any of the slides, or if you wish to re-record one of these slides again, you just have to click on slide and click on software simulation and just record the part which you performed incorrectly, and it will play in a continuous fashion. So let us go ahead and see that how the demo looks like. And then we are going to see training and we'll compare the difference between the two. So this is the demo. Just simple video. You cannot perform any clicks here. A step-by-step sort of a guide for your learners that what all steps they have to perform. So this was the demo. Now let us discuss about training. This is more interesting and you are going to like it. So we have two types of captions generated here. The first one, one of these is a hint. It will be displayed to your learners if they perform wrong clicks. So you have this click box here. You can adjust the size of the click boxes. So, in order to make it easier for your learners, they can click anywhere within this area in order to proceed further. Again, the captions are editable. You can go ahead, delete out the text or add your own text. And then we have another click box here. Then if we proceed further, we have a really small click box here. My suggestion would be to make it as big as the original text that we have, the original click box that we have here, so that it becomes easier for your learners to click anywhere and proceed further. Otherwise, if we make it very small, your learners will, spend a lot of time in searching for that small click box. So let us see the difference and you'll be able to make out that what exactly a simulated environment is and how the training mode works like. So if I click on the play icon, it will not proceed further. It has stopped. You can see that it says play here and we cannot proceed further. Now I forgot where to make the first click. So if I click anywhere else on the screen, we'll see that a hint appears which says select new slide. So now I know that I need to click here. So I click on select new slide. Then I click on the title slide item. Now again, I forgot where to click. I'm not intelligent enough that to click here at the first go. So if I again click here, it says incorrect, please try again. And if I bring my mouse here, if I hover over it, it says click here. I click here and now I have a hint that you need to type. So I'm using my keyboard to type title 1 and I hit the enter button. And that is how we are able to proceed further. The assessment mode is very similar. The only difference is that you can attach some marks or points, and that's about it. So this makes it a lot more easier for you to create some software-based trainings for your learners. And if it is just a demo, you can publish it out as a MP4, place it on YouTube or anywhere else. But if it is training, it is interactive. Your learners will be interacting with this content. They will physically perform the clicks and add the text. In that case, it would always be a good idea to upload this type of a content onto a learning management system so that they can physically perform the clicks, and you can also track and report and see that how your learners are performing. So this was mostly what I wanted to share from my end. Just on a last note, you can click on publish and then you get multiple publish options. You can go ahead, publish to a computer, either in the form of an MP4 or SCORM, AICC or XAPI. So we support these three formats. And all of your content will be HTML5 because all of it is interactive. And then we do have Adobe Captivate Prime, which is our learning management system. So if you do not have access to a LMS at present, and if you would like to explore one, you can get in touch with us and we'll guide you with Adobe Captivate Prime as well. Apart from this, With that, I'm going to stop my screen share for now, as this was mostly what I wanted to share with regards to the demo. I hope it was not overwhelming for you guys, and it was helpful in some way or the other. So let me have a look at the chat questions that I can see here, and let me see if I can answer those for you. Yeah, so
Manika,
Richa, yeah, so
I'll,
yeah, please go ahead, Raghav.
I'll help you out with questions. So the first
Absolutely.
question is from Raghavendra.
Mm-hmm.
He asks, is there a possibility to reduce the noise when the content is required but has a lot of noise in the background?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if we just talk about only the background noise, that is something which is not available. But if it is you're not speaking at that time and there is some background noise towards the starting or the ending, or if you're not speaking, that is something that you can remove. Otherwise, you can try reducing the pitch of the voice that you have recorded, and that will considerably reduce the background noise as well.
All right. All right. So I hope that answers your question, Raghavendra.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. And now the second question would be from Richa. She asks, can we create communication mailers for organization using it? If then, how?
Okay, so Richa, for creating communication mailers, I would not suggest Adobe Captivate for that. For that, you can possibly go ahead and explore FrameMaker or RoboHelp, as that will help you in creating mailers in a better way. So for Captivate, it is mostly for your learners, your immediate customers or employees. You can create some learning content for them, either in the form of videos or just in the form of text and slides. But if you are okay with creating a communication mailer in the form of a video, with some text and video content, that is when you can make use of Captivate. I hope this answers your question. If you have something else in your mind, do feel free to unmute her and add that here.
Richa?
Yeah, thanks, Manika. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Richa.
All right. Thank you, Manika. So there's one more, maybe a couple more questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is from Ashish. He asks, why is instructional design and tools like Lectora, Storyline, and Captivate speak more about learning theories and
Mm-hmm.
things like Bloom's taxonomy? Are these things relevant to the knowledge artifacts?
So Ashish, I would say it's a good question. But if we talk about, these instructional design tools, you have mentioned Lectora, Storyline, and Captivate. These are not fully just based on the learning theories. If you'll explore more and more, you'll see there are a lot of other things that you can make use of apart from the various learning theories that are out there. But yes, up to a certain extent, these are designed in such a fashion that we support the various learning theories out there. But I wanted to understand more that what exactly are you trying to convey here, that don't you think that the various instructional designing tools would be helpful for you? Do you have something else in your mind? It would be great to know more from your side.
Yeah, hi Manika, Ashish here, and thank for this brilliant presentation. It was really, you know, to another level, another set of level. My question is in purview of basically interviews or something,
Mm-hmm.
because where I've been learning the same kind of stuff I've been doing with Camtasia and
Right.
XML and Vtml, but when we go for this was very simple GUI that I have seen with
Mm-hmm.
Captivate.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw the storyline and other stuff online via YouTube channel, but
Right.
they always ask, do you know about Bloom's taxonomy? So
Uh-huh.
when I was seeing the GUI, I didn't see like
Uh-huh.
such thing that which requires this Bloom taxonomy or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to know something about that.
Mm-hmm.
And second thing was that I also had a second question, about the capability of adding voiceovers from external source.
Right. Right.
And third thing was that when regarding this caption files, so we have captions and subtitles, right? So
Mm-hmm.
suppose I have a SRT file, so can I upload it and generate my captions?
Okay.
Yeah.
So to answer your first question, which is related to the learning theories, to be honest, I was a technical writer before I started working with Adobe. I have used Oxygen personally in the past. So I had no relevant background of e-learning, and I was not even aware of the various learning theories. Now I've learned about these things and I'm aware. But just to let you know that it is not mandatory at all to have knowledge of these learning theories in order to make use of these tools. So you can just rule that out totally. That is something that is not required. Second thing, bringing in your pre-recorded voiceovers. You would be having all of those in MP3 format. You can simply bring those inside Captivate. There's a simple import option available in the media button. You can go ahead, just navigate to the part where you have added your MP3 files, I'm sorry, and you'll be able to import them here inside Captivate. Your last question that is related to SRT files. We do support closed captioning, but direct import of SRT files is not supported as of yet. You can just copy your text from there. It can be in the form of a Word document or a notepad file. Just copy your text from there and bring that inside Captivate, and your captions will be generated. So you can create captions, closed captions, but direct import is not permitted as of now. I hope,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, Monica, that sounds pretty good, and thanks for your lucid answers. Thank you so much.
you're most welcome, Ashish.
Okay. Thanks, Ashish. Manika, there are a few more questions
Mhm.
I'd like you to take. So Ravi asks, is the MP4 file to be created outside the Captivate or it can be generated within Captivate?
Mm, mm. So, Ravi, this is a really, really good question. So, we did not cover one of the topics today that is called as video demo. So, what you can do is you can record your screen as well as your webcam along with it. And just like Microsoft Teams and Zoom, we do provide you with an option of, removing your background or adding some other background if you wish to. So if you create something of this sort, you can export this or save this out as a MP4 file, or you can just simply perform a screen recording and you can save that also as a MP4 file and then bring it again inside Captivate and convert it into an interactive video that we saw today. But if we talk about, the video that we saw today, which was related to work from home, that is something which was not created using Captivate at all. So you can essentially just create some screen recordings, save them as MP4. I hope this answers your question, Ravi.
Yes, thank you, Manika.
Awesome. Awesome. Next is from Richa. I'm just trying to make it quick a little.
Sure, sure.
The next one is from Richa. Can we create VLSI files from the Captivate format?
Unfortunately, this is something which we cannot do right now, Richa.
Okay. Amol asks, other than the TOC check marks, how can I track
Yeah, I did
progress?
read his question,
Or-
Ishan. It's in front of me. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Amol, if we talk about progress tracking and completion, the percentage progress, this is something which is handled from the LMS side and not from the content creation tool. But yes, you can personalize the progress bar. You can change the aesthetics and all those sort of things. We have a skin editor inbuilt. You can change those things and add a TOC as well. But tracking is something that is handled by the LMS and not by the content creation tool. I hope this answers your question, Amol.
Yeah, okay, got it. Fine.
Perfect. So, Ishan, do we have more questions now?
Yes, there are a couple of more questions. Guys, I'd like you to ask. I think in lieu of time, we'll just take the questions which are already posted. And I guess if there are more questions, you might want to contact Manika directly, I suppose, if that's okay with you, Manika.
Absolutely, Ishan. That's fine.
All right. So let's just cover up the questions which are already there in the chat box, and then we can move forward.
Hmm?
So Alpna asks, can we add a part of a YouTube video somewhere in between? And if the question is not answered for a long time,
Mhm.
will it stop there or after some time will the video resume?
Okay, so that's a great question, Alpana. You cannot add parts of a YouTube video, but you can definitely cut it out. Let's say you have a 20-minute long YouTube video, but you just wish to add the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes. That is something that you can achieve. You can cut out the parts of the video. Answering the second part of your question, that if the answer is not answered for, if the question is not answered for a really long time, the video will not proceed further. Your learner has to mandatorily answer the question in order to proceed further. Be it wrong or right is a different thing altogether, but the video will not play by itself.
Great, great. Sachin asks, it might actually be a question for participants as well.
Ishan, we'll keep this to the latter. So we'll just take Charlene's question, which is the final one, and then come back to Sachin's.
Sure, sure, we can do that. Okay, so Sharon asks, what is the output format of the video created with interactive components?
Yeah, so the output format for this, Sharon, would be HTML5. You can save it out as MP4, but the interactivity would not work at all because it will just be a video and you'll not be able to perform any of the clicks or activities. So you need to save it out as HTML5 or as SCORM. So if you're using any LMS, you can publish it as a SCORM file and then upload it onto your learning management system. But this won't work if you upload it on YouTube. For that, you just have to create normal MP4 videos.
So I guess if there are no more questions, I hand it over to you, Raghu.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you so much.
Raghav,
Sure, Monica.
I have just one small question. Can I quickly ask it?
Sure, sure,
Yes,
please.
Richa. Yes, Richa. Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
I actually just one small but a very simple question that
Mhm,
I think is very necessary. Suppose we want to ask our organization to get the Captivate being installed on the machine
mhm.
because a technical writer finds it interesting to work for certain things, but
Right,
the
right.
organization have to convince the organization and the management. Okay, just a simple question because every manager asks before purchasing a tool, what is the difference that you find in a Captivate and the existing PowerPoint tool, which is
Mhm, mhm.
already installed on the machine? How
Right,
to
right.
convince in that?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really good question, Richa, and I hope this will be helpful for all of you. So, if you would have noticed today, if we talk about PowerPoint, I do like PowerPoint personally, no doubts in that, but it is limited to just creating some slides, adding some videos there, right? But if we talk about Captivate, it changes the entire learner experience altogether. It will not just only be about PowerPoint slides being added or voiceover being there or just the videos playing in general. You can create a lot more interactive stuff like we saw today, and it becomes really simple and easy for you as content creators to create software trainings, the one that we saw as software simulations. So there are a few things that you can talk about, but you can definitely focus on the end user experience. You're going to elevate the end user experience and you're going to change the entire game, and you're moving away just from the traditional PowerPoint slides. And you can, sort of create a short project for your management and present it to them. And that is how it will become a bit more easier for you to convince the management.
Okay, thank you so much again. So